And what I really needed was to recreate myself, which means to bring something new into the world that had never existed before.
What if you could sell anything to anyone? Think of that. Like if a genie came out of the ground and gave you 3 wishes, one of them should be, I would like to have the ability to sell anything to anyone to persuade, the ultimate persuasion tool. And if you want to talk about work from anywhere algorithms, work from anywhere formulas, it's the superpower of copywriting. In this book, Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards, this guy is Russell Brunson's key copywriter and just a remarkable swipe file of opportunity for somebody to have a positively unfair business advantage over their competition is to be able to write effective copy. Right, Steve?
That's right. We've been saying that since I can remember.
Yeah, and it's the type of thing that Jim goes over this in the book. It's the type of thing that you have to learn because you can't outsource your passion. You can't outsource your feelings and your journey. If you're connecting with an audience at an emotional level, no one in the world knows what words can unlock the puzzle and, unlock the door using the words, which is copy. Copy is words that sell. The right words in the right order will turn the key on unlocking somebody's connection to you. And you can't kind of push that off to the market and let the people write copy. You can. Good copywriters, by the way, are very difficult to get. Like, I doubt you could even hire this guy. Because I've tried to hire great copywriters. Mm-hmm. And every time I hire a copywriter, every time without example, I have to do it. I have to clean it up anyway myself. But what we're going to talk about in this book is street smart formulas. That's what he calls it. And I'm going to pull 4 or 5 algorithms out of here that you can apply and watch this episode over and over again to be able to write killer copy, to get massive results, like 10, 100x results in what you do in business and life. So the 4 that I'm going to go through, the first one is positioning. How do you position yourself as the expert? How do you position yourself as the guide to be seen by the client? There's a way to do that with words. And then he talks about the number 1 most important thing about copywriting is headlines. Headlines have to stop you in your tracks, get your attention, and get you to read more or watch more or go through whatever funnel you're inviting them into. That's what headlines do. And then the idea of what's called psychographics. Mm-hmm. You ever hear of demographics?
Yes, psychographics. I heard the first time I heard that was with Seth Godin. Remember, I was going on about him, and he was talking about it's not just about who it is, like what their details are, their age. It's their psychographics. Isn't there like their mental state?
Yeah, everyone says my market is retirees, or my market is millennial business owners. That's a demographic,
right?
Because they'll say, oh, my market niche has 200,000 people. The psychographic is what is that client feeling. Like the acronym he uses is he calls them FRED. What is their feelings? What is the results? What's the expectation? What are the desires? That's what FRED stands for. What's your FRED? And that's the psychographics. We're going to go through that. How to write bullets, which are the sub-headlines. So every bullet is basically a sub-headline. All right, that's going to elicit more curiosity and more interest and drive home key points. And then finally, how to copy. How to use copy that's written in other markets and other industries and repurpose it for your own good. And one of the things that I love, I don't know if you know this, when you find yourself buying something, he said this is the number 1 behavior you want to model for yourself. When you buy something and you find yourself purchasing something, you want to see what happened. You want to reverse engineer that. So what is the last thing you bought online? Do you know?
Actually, yeah, I just bought something for my microphone, like another one of these windshield things, because mine at home has like a big pop filter, covers my mouth, so I wanted something a little different.
If you bought, reverse engineering that, why did you buy that one versus all the other ones that were available? I'm sure,
right.
Knowing you searched it.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so something appealed to you that made you buy. And go through this. Did you buy any courses lately?
Courses? No, not lately.
No? I'm not surprised.
I haven't bought course. I haven't really thought. I bought a book recently.
Yeah,
I
right.
bought a book listen to a Rogan podcast. The guy was on, Sean Carroll. He's like a physicist, and it was all about quantum mechanics. And he wrote a book. I didn't know he wrote one, so I bought his book.
So you want to reverse engineer your buying habits because you are your target audience psychographic. So the way you think and feel is usually part of the target audience. So that's a good place to start. So finding words and headlines that you've responded to and working backwards from them, and even the follow-up sequences. These are all the elements of copy. Because if you think about it, all sales copy is a headline,
Right.
all right, with bullets, bulleted information that generates curiosity. That's what we're going to go through. We're going to go through these algorithms on how to do that. And the positioning starts with this. And this is it. Without a strong why, people don't buy.
Right.
Like you don't buy unless you have a why. Why'd you buy the microphone thing, whatever it was?
For better quality, mainly for just a good quality and so people can see my mouth when I do a podcast. Because the other one was like a big pop filter, like a big shield, and it was like covered my mouth. So I wanted.
Right. So when you're positioning yourself in the eyes of your Fred, all right, because Fred, the acronym is feelings, results, the feelings they have, the results that they're looking for, the expectations that they seek, and the desires, the desires they have. You want that Fred to say something to you, or you want to say something to that Fred, and this is why people buy. And,
right.
and you've heard me talk about the 5 things you should have in your product.
Mm-hmm.
And he had some of them, but he added some more that I actually liked. So your product, or what you're writing copy about, that it will become curious, is something that helps somebody make money, something that helps somebody save money, something that helps somebody save time, something that helps someone conserve energy. I love that one. That's new. Like if you can do it, that's not only time but energy. Something that helps someone escape pain. And then we have connect with others. Something that'll help you connect with more people. Something that'll help elevate your status. Something that'll help improve your hygiene or your health. So those are the 9, but he said most copy in the marketing world, online world, are the first 5 or 6. So if you can get 1 and sometimes 2 or 3 of them all together, you're going to create that hyper super reaction.
Right.
When you can be careful with it. But when you're writing copy, what I like to encourage, and he said this too, is make a list of all the things. So write down make money and write 5 ways that your product can help somebody make money. Write down save money. Write down 5 ways your product can save money. Write down save time. Write down 5 things your product can help you do that'll save you time. All right. Save energy. It's the same. Like people, the reason we're so wired for saving time and saving energy is calories were once scarce. Food was once scarce. Like we're wired as humans to take shortcuts. Heuristics, as they're called. These are shortcuts, rules of thumb that save you time and energy. Write down those. Write down 5 ways your product can escape pain. 5 ways your product can help you connect, raise your status. If you have a health and hygiene product, 5 ways it makes you more healthy, more appealing to somebody. If you have those bullets, you have a arsenal of things to pull from, because good copy isn't the obvious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the shorter the better. We always talk about it's hard to get it short.
Yeah, like if you're trying to be the lowest high value product in the market, you're on as Dan Kennedy said, you're on a quick route to the bottom, because you just can't sustain that. But that's secret number 1. Why? Why do you do it? So you're armed with the why, and the second thing you got to do is purge. You got to delete. We just wrote copy this morning for a proposal that we were doing, and one of my copywriters put a lot of, thought a lot of some of the things I did, and the first paragraph and a half was a resume about my accomplishments. And this is another rule. Nobody cares about you. It can't be about you. It can't be about your team. It can't be about what you've done. It's got to be about them. And we always talk about this on social. On social media, if you're starting a conversation with somebody on social media and says, my name's Terrance McMahon and I survived this terminal illness and I came back and I made a a best-selling book, and I did a TED Talk, and I traveled all over the world, and I did a podcast, and I attracted 500,000 followers. All of that's true, but nobody cares.
Right.
I didn't find that out until a little while ago. I thought people were really impressed with that. It's like a total fucking waste of time.
Yeah, they want to know how they can do it.
Yeah. They want. So the better positioning of that statement is, if you want to be a social media influencer and you want your life to change and you want to have more free time and impact people and change the world and bring your message to the marketplace, you want to be looking at doing these things that happen to work for us. Way less us, way more them. So you got to make sure when you're writing your copy, you purge everything out that has to do with you, I, me, we, us, ours. Get rid of it. Change it to, I want you to know something. Would you like to do better at? Are you interested in? Does the thought of doing this sound great to you?
Such a simple pivot.
It's a wonderful. I mean, that's worth the book. This short 20 minutes on copywriting will be more copy algorithms than I have ever had. Like, and I just reread this book. This guy's the GOAT.
You enjoy writing copy too, or do you just?
If I have the time, I do.
Yeah.
What I like to do is, and now we have our team's starting to grow. So I have people in my life that know enough about my message that can give me what I call as vomit copy.
Yeah.
They can barf something on the page, and what we did today, we just got around and we went through it and we did a read through. So you do vomit copy, you purge out, make sure the message is going outward, not inward. You make sure that message is helping them make money, save time, save energy, escape pain, connect with others, elevate your status, be more healthy, have better hygiene, as many times as you can, bolstering that. And then you get into the finished carpentry, as I like to say. Like writing copy on paper is like the frame to the house. The finished carpentry is when you put in the molding and the beautiful cabinets, like making the copy scream. And nothing is more important in copy than managing your results and testing. So you got to have a system that lets you test. So number one most important part of copy, now that we've done, why people buy. It's not about you, it's about them. The number three algorithm is the number one most important is a headline writing algorithm. You need to have the process to be able to write down what it is you want them to do in the algorithm of headlines. All right. And there's three types that he talks about in it. And we write a lot of headlines. Yeah. We've got to write the headlines. These are the only purpose of any of these three, by the way, is just to stop you in your tracks and to get you curious, interrupt you, maybe ask you a question, and get you to read the rest. That's the only interest.
Yeah.
So I'm in the pool yesterday.
Right.
Swear to God. And I hear a noise behind me. It's a beautiful day. I live a little north of Miami Beach. I'm in the pool. I hear this noise. And everyone, I'm looking towards the building, and everyone looking towards the ocean is looking up in the air. And they're all reading. And it said... it was a plane with a big banner.
Bud Light Seltzer?
No, it said, would you like to save 15% on your car insurance? So
I had a funny experience.
Whose ad was that?
Geico's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they use the vintage formula that I talk about, that this isn't the formula, but it's the gap. Get attention, the plane with the banner, right? So it's a visual. Ask question, make a promise. That's called the gap principle. Never forget it. So it says, go to geico.com to find out. So they made the promise, go to geico.com. I said, that was like vintage. I looked at these people. I said, that's vintage copy. But tell me what you were saying.
No, I had a funny experience. When you have an ad on one platform and you see it everywhere. That happened to me with like this. I was watching a podcast. They were advertised for Bud Light Seltzer, and then the next YouTube video was that they said it on their podcast the way we are talking right now as their like rolling ad. Then the next ad on YouTube, which was like an overlay ad, was the Bud Light. I'm like, how did they connect that? But then the funny part was I went out on my balcony looking at the ocean, and I saw a plane go by, and it was Bud Light Seltzer. I'm like, are they that good where they're flying a plane by me now? But
you got a pixel.
Exactly, a real life pixel.
It's called omnipresent. So, you know what the pixel? I didn't know what pixels was, but I always use metaphors. A pixel, you ever been in the woods and you brush up against a tree and it's got those little burrs on them?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what a pixel is. If you brush up against an ad, the pixel sticks on you, and then it tells your advertising to be omnipresent, go everywhere with that same ad.
Not to get
Or
too
target that same person, so you're forever targeted.
not to get too off target, but there is something crazy about that targeting. I was watching a documentary yesterday called The Great Hack. Have you seen it?
No.
Cambridge Analytica supposedly had 5,000 data points on every American person.
Oh, yeah.
It was crazy. Imagine and they went all for the emotional side, not even for like the demographics like you're talking about. But imagine 5,000 different data points on each person. It was wild.
Do you know that it's very likely that they know exactly who's going to win the presidential election?
Right. That's what it was all about.
They're very likely to know who's going to vote, and that data is powerful. You can weaponize that data for a very ethical, well-intended purpose in your business. But what does that tell you? If you have so much, you do all that creeping online and starting to collect.
They were saying in the show, the main person in the show said that data became more valuable than oil. It's like the most valuable asset in the world right now.
Right.
That's insane.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's like if you have a good sales letter, it could become more valuable than your company.
Yeah.
Yeah. I built one of my first funnels for my restaurant. I had a restaurant that was doing badly, and we built a very simple campaign, and the restaurant went from struggling to being full every day. Mm-hmm. And when I sold the restaurant, I told the guy, I said that funnel, it was a coupon offer, very simple 2-for-1 thing for surf and turf. I said that the funnel is worth more than the restaurant because the restaurant's not worth shit. Customers are worth money. You can always sell somebody something. But getting back to the headline, here are the 3 types. 3 types of headlines. The first one is the how-to headline, right? How to swim with the sharks without getting eaten alive. That's the famous how-to. You know of any famous how-to books?
Ooh.
How to win friends and influence people.
There you go.
Right? How to blank in as little as 10 days. How to lose 20 pounds in 10 days. That's a headline.
There's a famous movie, wasn't it? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah.
Famous movie.
Yeah. Or if you're going for a specific market, the headline of how every blank business owner can blank. So you put in how every avatar, business owner, attorney can what? Then you insert your psychographics. How every attorney can transform into a social media personality, right? And these are all, that's the how-to headline. How every blank can blank, even if you already, by the way. That's the third part of the algorithm. So the algorithm is put down how to insert the outcome in blank, put in some amount of time that'll help save them time or energy, right? To go back to the beginning without blank, without if it's dieting, without starving to death. If it's without a bunch of money, without going to a technical college.
You said like how to lose weight and still eat junk food. People would love that.
Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah. How to lose weight while eating cookies. Yeah. I've seen that. They call it cookie
that calls
diet.
anybody.
Yeah. All right. So there's another type is ways to get what you want. Type number 2. So 5 quick and easy ways to lose weight, even if you like pizza.
Right.
Right. So it's 5 quick and easy ways to blank is all outcome, even if you blank. So you can use that. It's like putting pieces of a puzzle together. When you have the ideas, like you have the 5 ways to make money, save time, and you know what the Fred wants, his desires and his result, like how to lose weight. And give it to them in 30 days without starving to death. Like that's a good combination. So the second way is ways to get things. 5 ways to do this, 10 ways to do this, the 16 best ways to do that. And the third headline, these are just the 3 basic ones, are mistakes. I'm going to give you a bonus one that's dangerous to use, but 10 mistakes all blanks make when they blank, right? 10 mistakes all attorneys that are trying to lose, all attorneys do when they're trying to lose weight. So you're marketing to attorneys that are trying to lose weight. You put attorney and lose weight. 10 mistakes all blank make when they blank. Or which of these blank mistakes are you making in your blank, right? So which of these 6 mistakes are you making in your financial plan?
That reminds me of that bias when people want to, they avoid losing in gambling more than they like winning. Remember that?
Yeah, that's prospect theory by
So
Kahneman. Yeah,
that reminds me of that because people want to avoid the mistakes more than they want to just be a successful CEO or whatever the example is.
Yeah, you need to test because a how-to or ways to get is the cognitive bias of reward, and the mistakes in the bonus one, which I'm going to give you, which is warning. That's the headline. Warning, Will Robinson, but warning, this could be hazardous to your health. But if you're using mistakes or warnings, you're going to be going to pain avoidance. So Daniel Kahneman he won the Nobel Prize for his analysis that people hate losses way more than they love gains. It's called prospect theory. In fact, they hate them twice as much. Example, if you lost $500 in the casino, it would feel twice as bad as if you won $500. It just hurts more.
Yeah. It hurts more than it feels good.
Yeah. So you might be more inclined to be drawn towards pain avoidance with your headline. But anyway, that's just I think it's just a great thing. And this is the one of what's called warning. Warning. What every blank needs to know about blank. Right? Warning. What every lawyer needs to know about losing weight. And he said something very interesting. He says when an animal makes out a distress call, like if a macaw, the bird, the Fruit Loop bird, screams out about a lion in the jungle, all animals in the jungle look. Our species are universal to alarms. But when the macaw says, "Oh no, forget it, all things are clear," only the other macaws listen. It's a dynamic. Warnings are incredibly, incredibly important and usable and effective, but man, you can abuse them and lose your credibility in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So if you're calling fake warning, you're like the Chicken Little, the sky is falling. Like you lost your chance.
Yeah.
Right. All right. I'm going to talk about psychographics. Meet Fred. All right. Psychographics is knowing your client, knowing your avatar. We did a take action tip on this. Fred is your avatar. Fred is your ideal client. Every message and headline and article you write to Fred. All right. And Fred stands for fears, results, expectations, and desires. So you need to know Fred, right? What is Fred afraid of? What results is Fred looking for? What expectations is Fred going for? What does he expect? What are his desires? And there's 1,000,001 different ways to find out where Fred hangs out. And that's when you got to do your creeping. Right. And I always coach this, and nobody does it well. Very few. Once in a while, like there's a lady I'm coaching up in Connecticut that's remarkable at this. She knows everything about her Fred. Because she's in the forum, she's looking at Facebook, she's asking them questions, she's calling them up, and she knows exactly what they're worried about. And she puts that in her copy, and her copy's working. So he has a formula that this is the algorithm. It's called PQR2. P stands for what problems do they have? So you got to figure out what their problem is. And this is very important. What question are they asking? What are they asking to forums? What are they asking at their help desks? Like if you have a product and you don't have a help desk, you're missing an opportunity to get a lot of questions. Could be a chance to improve products, but also create new products. Enter the conversation. Your copy wants to enter a conversation that's already going on in their head. So if they're already wondering how to lose weight, and you come up with a good headline that gets their attention, you're already in the conversation. Like they're going to keep reading just to see what you got.
Right.
And then of course the last two are roadblocks. What's in the way and what's the result. So when you look at the valley between where you are, so you have Fred sitting on the edge of a cliff, let's call it. Yeah, let's say the couch. Let's say Fred's got to get to the bathroom. He doesn't feel like it. The result is, that's they're sitting somewhere. Let's not use that.
Yeah.
Let's just say he's sitting in one cliff. There's a big valley, and he's got to get across. He needs to build a bridge to the result. So he has problems. He has questions. He has roadblocks. He's looking for the result. So you need to build a bridge with bricks that are made of words, and those words are sales copy. And those words need to enter the question, enter the conversation he's having in his head, which builds a bridge to get him to make the decision. Very, very simple. These sales copy, these words are bricks. When they're put together right, and you've gone through these exercises, you have bricks that can build. And they might not work the first way you put them together. They might not work, and that'll be proof in your testing. Because what do we teach you? What do we teach you? Doesn't matter if you think it's cute or I think it's cute. What matters?
If people are acting on it.
Yeah, if they're clicking. Like we do videos all the time and say, wow, that was a great video. And we get crickets.
Yeah.
And then we had one that I didn't think was that great that got 4.5 million views. I was like, that was not even close to the best video.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going into the last two real quick. I try to keep these things under a half hour, is writing bullets. All right, so you have formulas for headlines. You have formulas for making it about them and not about you. You have formulas for positioning yourself. You have a formula for Fred. Writing bullets, it's the sub-content of a headline. Like if you want to learn how to lose weight, you might write 3 bullets. So he did an example of a drill that I want to share with everybody. So you have this drill. I mean, what's more uninteresting than a drill? Right? It just drills holes. But the bullet formula grabs attention so you can address the wants and needs of your client. It quickly conveys important features about the outcome, and it brings it out in a feeling of relief, right? So the formula is this, and you've all heard this if you heard one of my earlier shows. There's a formula for telling people what you do. I help X do Y so they can Z. Give me the value of X. Who do you help? Y, what result are you helping them get? And Z, what's the outcome? Right? I help X get Y so they can Z. This one is about your product. All right? And it talks about features, benefit, and meaning. Right? It X so you can Y, which means Z. It X so you can Y, which means Z. It's feature, benefit, and what it means. Right? All right, so here's one question. He did 4 on a drill. The bullets were 1-piece set, SAE sizes, chrome, vanadium steel construction, stamped markings for easy wrench size identification. So he rewrote this copy, and I'll read it to you. So the copy was rewritten to 1-piece set, so you can keep all your wrenches together in one place.
That's like a different
Does that sound better than 1-piece set? Yeah, so you can keep all your wrenches together in one place. SAE sizes, so you have the exact size you need when you need it.
Yeah, it's way more clear.
Right? Chrome, vanadium, steel construction for strength and durability, so you can work with them, so you can work hard with them. All right, that's pretty good. Stamped markings for every wrench size identifiable so you can quickly find the right size you need. Right? So it's feature, benefit. Feature is what it is. Benefit is what it does. And meaning, which means. Right? Right? So when I did my book, Superhero Self, it's an algorithm to recreate yourself. Right? So you can transform into something else you never thought possible. Which means you'll be happier, healthier, and more successful.
Yeah.
So we've kind of been doing this, but this is a simple algorithm.
Yeah.
Right? It X, so you can Y, which means Z. All right? X is what it does, or what it is. Y is what it does, and Z is what it means to you emotionally. Isn't that cool?
I like it. I like which means is like a really big part because it's almost like the bridge you were talking about with the cliff. Tells you like where you're actually going and then what happens when you get there. I think that's a really clarifying thing that really helps people. It reminds me of Stones in the Creek. Was it Donald Miller that said that?
Yeah.
In that book is like you give them all the stones because the creek is like easy to pass. But if you give them the actual stones and say you step on these 3 stones, they see exactly where they're going. They actually take the steps.
It's like little baby stories. Everything's a sub chapter. Everything should stand on its own message. Right? These bullets actually can stand alone because they're so well defined. What it is and what it does and what it means. Remember that. All right. Here's the last clue is how to copy ethically. How to ethically copy. And I can't tell you how many times I've talked about Sam Walton.
Yes.
Sam Walton used to stroll the aisles. He used to go to other stores and creep. Right? He said literally measure floors. They arrested him once in Peru for being on the floor in a department store. He was measuring things. They arrested him. They thought he was a vagrant. Ugh. And yeah, they called up and said, hey, we got Sam Walton in jail down here. What's going on? And Sam says, I was measuring the floor. So he's getting ideas from other markets. So he wasn't necessarily stealing. He was just getting ideas. He was in a foreign country. Walmart at the time wasn't there. So what's that mean? Look at things you bought, to go back to my early conversation, and copy the context. How it was put in your eyes. What it is, what it does, what it means, a headline, how to, right? How to get what you want, mistakes, warnings. These are all algorithms. The right words in the right order can unlock the key to your progress in your business and your life. You're always going to need to be able to write things that motivate, even if you're writing out invitations to a wedding. Right? All right, man. Anything else?
That was killer.
Awesome. Take care. See you next time.